Welcome to Channel 44. I am Mercy Gashebu Sembatia to bring you this hour's news update. Live here on Channel 44, I will be joined by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. France has suspended development. I beg your pardon. France has suspended development assistance to Mali after finalizing its move to end its 10-year military presence in the country, according to a foreign source. French media quoted the Foreign Affairs Ministry as saying it had suspended aid over the attitude of the Malian junta allied to the Russian Wagner mercenaries. The decision was said to have been taken 2 to 3 weeks ago. A group of French NGOs are said to have denounced the decision in a letter sent to President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday, calling on him to review the position. According to the NGOs, the suspension of aid jeopardizes dozens of development projects that are underway or planned in the country over the coming years. The suspension comes amid the increasing isolation of Mali. The two-week COP27 climate summit in Egypt is entering its final day as delegates continue to grapple with a number of sticking points. These include what level of scrutiny countries should face for delivering on climate targets and funding for developing countries most affected by climate impacts. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that a blame game was a recipe for mutually assured destruction. He said trust between rich and poorer countries had broken down, and he urged them to agree on what he called an ambitious and credible deal. Failure to resolve outstanding issues could see negotiators working into the weekend. In the United States, the U.S. has determined that Saudi Arabia's de facto leader, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, had immunity from a lawsuit filed by murdered journalist Jamal Khashoggi's fiancé. Mr. Khashoggi, a prominent Saudi critic, was murdered at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul in October 2018. U.S. intelligence has said it believes Prince Mohammed ordered the killing. But in court filings, the U.S. statement said he has immunity due to his role as Saudi Prime Minister. Mr. Khashoggi's ex-fiancée Hatis Sengiz wrote on Twitter that Jamal died again today with the ruling. And in Asia, North Korea has launched an intercontinental ballistic missile with enough range to hit the U.S. mainland, according to Japanese Defense Minister. The missile landed in the sea, roughly 210 kilometers west of Hokkaido. The U.S. has condemned the launch, while South Korea has ordered strong deterrence measures against the North. Yesterday, North Korea FM Sohul warned a fierce response to any increased U.S. military presence in the region. It also launched a short-range ballistic missile the same day. That followed Sunday's meeting between South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, U.S. President Joe Biden, and Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in Cambodia, in which the three countries agreed to increase their military cooperation. In the United States, one day after retaking a majority in the U.S. House of Representatives, Republicans have said they will investigate the president's family as top priority. The lawmakers said the inquiry would focus on overseas business dealings of the president's son, Hunter Biden. The 52-year-old is already under federal investigation but has so far not faced any charges. The younger Biden is not involved with the administration in any capacity, but top Republicans insist that their inquiry will determine the extent of Joe Biden's alleged involvement in his son's business dealings, including during the elder Biden's time as vice president. Moving on, UN climate talks head to a conclusion today with nations deeply divided over cash to help poor countries cope with the impacts of climate change. The idea of phasing down the use of all fossil fuels to limit the rise in temperatures is also the subject of a deep rift as the COP27 talks wind up. The Egyptian hosts are trying to broker an agreement among almost 200 countries After 2 weeks of negotiations, such is the scale of division, the talks may overrun into the weekend. There's a real sense of urgency in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh as negotiation teams try to conclude an agreement on a range of complex questions. And President Volodymyr Zelensky has said 10 million Ukrainians are without power after a fresh wave of missile strikes by Russia. At least 7 people were killed in the strikes, with the number expected to rise. Ukraine's air defense managed to shoot down 6 cruise missiles and 5 drones. Yesterday, Russia pounded Ukraine with a fresh missile barrage, hitting more energy installations and civilian buildings less than 2 days after one of its heaviest bombardments yet. And in the United States, Nancy Pelosi, who has led the Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives for almost 2 decades, has announced she is standing down from the role. The 82-year-old is the most powerful Democrat in the Congress and the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House. She will continue to represent her California district in the lower chambers of Congress. It comes as Republicans are projected to take back control of the House following the midterm election. Republican Kevin McCarthy has won the party's nomination to be Speaker in the new Congress and is likely to succeed Mrs. Pelosi. And finally, in the world of business and technology, Twitter has told employees that the company's office buildings will be temporarily closed effective immediately. In a message seen by the press, workers were told that the offices would reopen on Monday the 21st of November. It did not give a reason for the move. The announcement comes amid reports that large numbers of staff were quitting after a new owner, Elon Musk, called on them to sign up for long hours at high intensity or leave. The message went on to say, please continue to comply with company policy by refraining from discussing confidential company information on social media with the press or elsewhere. Well, that brings us to the end of this afternoon's news in brief. Thank you for watching Channel 44. Pastor Jessica Kayanja is up next with the Marriage Now program. She will be speaking to us and praying for us. You do not want to miss this time to be blessed. I also remind you of the Karamoja Christmas Karamoja. We are taking Christmas to the people of Karamoja, especially the children, and we are giving them an experience of their lifetime. Join us once again by sending your seed to the numbers that will be available during the services, or you can bring your seed to the Miracle Center Cathedral at the church reception. You will be given a receipt for accountability, or you can bring it to the services in the church, and Pastor Robert Kayanja will pray for you. Tonight we are having a miracle overnight. Come and join us once again and be blessed. Bring the healed, bring the sick, bring the lame, bring all those that need the hand of God. They will be totally healed. God bless you. Enjoy your afternoon.